Hello, everyone. Just got off work. I did just drink a Red Bull, so if I'm a little hyperactive, I apologize. Um, but Xander, my fellow brethren from the mountains, is going to be the last Yoshi I VOD review. I can't VOD review all the North Carolina Yoshis and leave out my fellow mountain player. I for both Boone and Asheville, I'm definitely rooting on everyone's success and everyone getting as good as possible. And because Xander is the only Yoshi I actually got consent to VOD review, I'm gonna send him some notes too. I'm gonna go a bit more in coaching mode, which means I'm gonna try to make this a bit more intensive. Um, Last thing, this is actually game 3 of this set. I VOD reviewed game 2, which was a game Xander did the worst in, but I wasn't too happy about it. I feel like the game kind of went by really quickly. There was like some like early Bayo kills, like one early edge guard, and a few like there there were some early deaths, and I feel like it wasn't as intensive of a VOD review as it could have been because of that. So I decided to VOD review game 3 instead. But there are some things I remember from game 2 that I will point out if they happen. But I am watching this game 3 blind. Anyway, let's get started. Whoa! Okay, I don't know why the screen just went black, at least on my end for a second. You're both dropping from the platform. You go for an egg right away. It does hit. Now, I will say, so my opinion on Yoshi's egg, I was actually considering ending my little Yoshi journey with like a Yoshi guide, and this is going to be one of my main points about it. So personally, I'm not the biggest fan of like dash back throw egg. In my opinion, it's kind of, I mean, it can work sometimes, and it worked here. But the reward on it's not like massive. It's just 7%, and you don't get a combo off of it, off of throwing it on the ground. In my opinion, it's kind of like a. Generally speaking, egg throw on the ground is reactable, so it's more of like a execution check on the opponent to deal with it. And sure, if you notice that the opponent struggles with it, maybe Nanwar does, he did get hit with it at the start of the match, then you can abuse it here and there a little bit more. Because some people are going to struggle with it, especially if you mix up like all the angles you can go to. But assuming your opponent isn't complete dog shit at dealing with it, in my opinion, raw egg throw on the ground, because you can't approach with it on the ground or do much off of it. It's maybe you can gain information, but even then, because of the like slow nature that egg works in, you're not getting a significant amount of information. Um, so I kind of view it as a matchup, like a match pauser. Like you're basically slightly delaying things a little bit, which could give you time to think things out or give you space to breathe. Maybe if you're getting like overwhelmed in neutral, you can just like kind of like reset it by just dashing back, throwing egg, and then going back into it. And if that's something you value, then that's cool. But I want to make it clear that that's what the intent of a raw egg throw on the ground is to me. I think jump egg throw is a lot better because you can approach with it, but you have to be kind of far away when you initiate it for you to really get the full effects of it. You do get a jump in. You go for the down air. Good job spacing it so that you don't get hit. You read that he's going to be on the platform, but he double jumps, but that's okay because you should still be in an okay position. He's going to go diagonally down onto the ground, and you basically just reset neutral. That's fine. You're going with the nair. Be a little careful. There's definitely counterplay to that. But it works out kind of. You get the nair out of shield on that landing. You go for an egg again. Unfortunately, the side B goes through it. I actually thought the egg was about to counterplay this side B, to be honest. But that's another reason. I also note that I'm pretty sure if you shield an egg up close when Yoshi does it, so if you dash shield into Yoshi as he throws the egg, it's unsafe on block, so you can actually hit Yoshi for it. So that's partially why I'm saying be careful. There's like some niche counterplay. This was a little luck based though, because I don't think Nanor was playing around egg. He just happened to side B, and you just happened to it just happened to duck under the egg. I don't think it was intentional. All right, so here. So in game 2, there was one situation when you were really high up and you just double jumped anyway. So one of my main points, this is a lesser extent because you're kind of in a situation where double jumping could help you out a little bit, and maybe you'd rather land than deal with Bayonetta ledge trapping. And I actually don't know Bayonetta well enough to know if it's like harder to deal with her ledge trapping or with her juggling. I don't actually know. Um, I think maybe you could have just like done some sort of movement, like go in a little bit or drift back a little bit and see what she was trying to cover, and then choose your option dependent on that instead of just raw double jumping. But the game 2, there was a situation you double jumped in that, like, in my opinion, so when you're above the opponent, imagine like a full hop distance above them. If you're within that distance, you're within an unreactionable range in which they can hit you. That is where double jump could be a great tool, especially at low percents, to get out. If you're in their immediate attack range. But there in game 2, you were like way up here, like 2 full hops away, to where I would say that the double jump was unnecessary, and then you had to land without your resources. You were able to egg lay to not get hit, but just something to be aware of. I basically have it noted for you that you maybe overuse double jump in situations where you don't quite need it yet, because now you're gonna like have to land. Now Yoshi does have some good landing mix-ups, and we're gonna try to assess your landing mix-ups real quick. Unless something niche happens. But Yoshi, it's like weird. Yoshi's kind of good at landing and kind of bad at landing at the same time because he's slow, floaty, loses to some specific hitboxes, but he has really good air drift and a few moves that can really, that can kind of defend him. He can stall with egg. He can, Yoshi's like has mix-ups, but has some weaknesses as well. I will say using an egg up here, in my opinion, is already unnecessary. Because again, you weren't in an immediate attack range. That egg effectively did not accomplish anything. In my opinion, there was no goals accomplished by the egg. And now if you try egging again, because egging can be a landing mix-up. You can use it as a reverse before landing, or you can use it as a stall. Because stalling is really important. It basically stalls your landing. People usually press their attack at a specific timing that they're going to predict you land, and stalling basically counteracts that. So egging is a good tool. But now your subsequent eggs are going to have less momentum behind them. And he wasn't close to you anyway, so I don't know what that egg really did for you. You go for the... Ooh. This is actually important because in game 2, I don't know how game 1 went. In game 2, well, you won game 1, which I guess is worthwhile. It's 1-1 for a reason. But game 2, you did the same thing, but because Nanwar hard committed to one direction, it actually did schmicks him up. But this time he reacts, and he's able to hit you for it. He fucks up the combo, though. But I will say, so once again... I will say you're just doing options like you're really preemptively, and there's not really a reason for it to happen yet. Because again, you're not in an immediate attack range, so there's not an immediate reason to do something like this. Because now, by the time that you're actually within a range in which he can attack you in, you're now lower on the ground with basically in lag. If you wanted to fall a little bit lower until there's more of a threatening position, basically get lower, like get to this platform and then maybe be reversed to the center or something. Or if you can just drift to one part of the stage, and if your opponent is playing full reaction mode and they're not able to cover, then you'll just be able to drift for free and land for free. But because you did something so preemptive at such a range where it wasn't necessary yet, all Nanwar had to do was wait. But it did work game 2. But game 2, I remember you did it when he was already up in the air threatening you. But here there was no threat to be reversed, to like reverse your momentum too. But he fucks up the combo, which is very good for you. You catch a landing with back air, beautiful. The second back air hits. I would get back onto stage. Oh. Wait, why did you hit both back airs, and Did that egg, like, send you less than usual, or am I stupid? Alright, it works out. I don't know if you meant to... Maybe you're trying to get a double jump armor through something, but you didn't get the reversal, so it didn't accomplish anything for you. But I would have just up B to ledge or up B, like, double jumped back onto stage, and then been... Unless you were trying to go deeper with the edge guard, but if you were, I don't know if you would wanted to do that egg in that specific angle yet. But I don't know. That was a weird situation. Oh, the hitbox, so the rising hitbox from the ledge is going to hit you. So it's important to know how things like this work. So you do a landing backer here. Fair enough. I understand. Actually, I might have a comment about that, but I don't know if there's necessarily anything wrong with it, because you might just be using this as like a, oh, don't roll get up. So you might be sending a message to not roll, and then you're going to press your other options instead. But, so you're probably planning on doing another back air at neutral get up range. However, in order to get there, you have to transfer from point A to point B. And if you're putting the hitbox out at point A, your entire duration you're technically vulnerable in. It's important to know how stuff like that works. You didn't necessarily do anything wrong. Nanwar just outplayed what you were doing. But I guess one thing is I would more so threaten with hitboxes on neutral get up range or jump range. Like do like a landing back air or whatever you want to do on neutral get up range, but then be more reactionary on roll get up range. Because you can react to roll get up, so there's not as much of a reason to throw out a preemptive hitbox there, unless you're literally just trying to signal to your opponent, don't roll here, which would be fair. Sometimes if you're transferring from neutral get up range to roll get range, you can do like a reverse down tilt, reverse F tilt, or maybe like jump and then landing back here. I think it's a little bit different if you're transferring from here already, but if you're already at roll distance, if he rolls, you're already chilling, right? Like you can just react and do whatever you want. And then if he doesn't roll, you still have corner pressure, you know? You actually had less frames to... Because you had less frames to even cover... Because you did this, but if you just reacted to roll get up for a little bit and then tried jumping here, you would have had better frame advantage anyway, so I guess this was kind of a wasted option. But it's not necessarily wrong that you tried jumping and back airing. He just happened to choose an option that counterplays it. But I will say, Bayonetta's most common ledge option is the like jump side B thing. They let go of ledge and I don't remember if they double jump first or they do a roll jump from ledge and side B, or they could just let go of ledge and side B immediately and it works. I don't remember the exact inputs, but they do the side B from ledge. It's like 80% of Bayos will do that like 80% of the time. And I saw Nanwar do it in the last game. I'm actually surprised he didn't do it here. But I do think it's worth mentioning that that option would also beat this strategy. So while you going for a jump back here is inherently wrong as long as you adapt immediately if they punish you for it. But you can maybe even do like a feint jump to make it look like you're going to jump and then just stand back and then punish or whatever. Or jump nair dodge or dash shield or whatever you want to do. Or just stay at roll. But against Bayonetta in particular, I'd be a bit more careful like whiffing hitboxes at ledge. I'd just occasionally do a mix-up because you might condition her not to do it as much. But I would just play around side B from ledge most of the time. Going for the up air. I'm not too mad at it. I might like up tilt a little bit more sometimes because I feel like up air sometimes like you put your hurt box above the platform a little bit, whereas with up tilt is like so quick, you have more frame advantage because you don't have to land afterwards. But up air is good too. It's kind of a mix-up, like you either want a rising up air, landing up air, or up tilt, and they all three have their pros and cons for platform pressuring. And that's if you want to deliberately pressure the shield. If you want to hit the way they get off the platform, there's other tools. But I think rising up air might have some weaknesses that the other two don't. But all three of them have their pros and cons. And it's important to know what those pros and cons are. But you get the up tilt. Uh-oh. Looks like she's able to witch time it. I think... Can't you do another up tilt here? No. I don't know Yoshi's combos that well. But I don't remember exactly what you want to do here. Because you get the up tilt. I think it's like an awkward percent where she's too high to get like up tilt up air, or up tilt up air into a landing up air, which is not, the second part isn't true, but you can like react to an air dodge or something and do a landing up air again while landing. But I think she's too low to go for like some other combos, or maybe she's at the percent where you start doing that. I don't remember. I know there's up tilt, instant double jump up air, and then you do something afterwards. Maybe that's what you wanted to do here. Make sure you're incorporating instant double jump up air when they're applicable. But I've also seen Yoshi Dora do like a delayed up air into a extended up air on the platform into another up air. But I don't know if that would work on Bayonetta because of Bats Within, which she was able to do when you didn't even delay it that much anyway. Maybe that's what you were trying to do. I don't know. She does this backer off the platform. I will say people running off the platform here is common, so if you want to counterplay it, funny enough, just putting out like a but if you were able to put out like a up air or up tilt in this area while she's running off, that's one way to counterplay it. But there's ways to counterplay that as well, so I'm not saying you should always do that. But if you deliberately read that he's going to do this again, that's how you beat it. Uh-oh. Beat the... Now, this is weird. In game 2, I remember you were playing around this jump side B a lot. You were like crouching like a roll and a half distance away from Bayonetta. And that was good, but I think you were overdoing it because you were like overplaying around it, you know? Because when you crouch around Bayonetta's side B range, you're basically telling her, like, don't do this. Like, do not do this option here because I'm playing around it. That crouch is a message to your opponent, but you kept relaying that message. And to be fair, it could be safe to just use that as a reactionary position anyway. But I think that you might have overdid it. He wasn't giving you the side Bs, but you conditioned him out of side Bing by telling him not to do it anyway. But you didn't really like capitalize off of that very much in the last game. But here, you kind of abandoned it, and now you are getting side Bs. So maybe just find a middle ground. You're getting comboed. I also think, remember, game 2, you also died to a few Bayu combos that I don't think you should have. So I think your SDIing may not have been very strong. I don't know all the complex SDI here. Ooh, be careful with that down air. That can get punished on reaction. Not a lot of people don't know how to deal with it though, and it seems like Nanoir is among those people. It was also started at a height where it's kind of hard to see on the way down. But be a little careful landing with down air like that. It can work sometimes though, so I'm not saying to never do it. Just be careful doing it every time. It looks like your shield drop got predicted, or just... I don't know if he was predicting the shield drop or if he was going to up air regardless and then the timing goes unlucky. It is kind of a mix-up on when you're going to jump or when you're going to let go of shield, or when you're just going to keep holding shield. And you just lost the little RPS mini game. Fair. I'm not mad at the forwarder. That can work. That was a good air dodge to the platform from Nanoir. I don't know if that was the most optimal punish you could have gotten, but I don't... It's weird. Yoshi's weird with whiff punishing things, in my opinion. It's like one of his weaknesses. He's not the best at whiff punishing. And when he does whiff punish, a lot of it's like preemptive. Like he's like, oh, I think you're going to swing here, so I'm going to kind of whiff punish it, but preemptively with like an egg lay or something. That's good. That's also decent. I think you also could have comboed Nair, but up smash does more damage. But I know Nair would have sent at a different angle, so it depends on which angle you prefer. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that almost hit. I mean, that's fair. That's like a creative way of beating that. I'd maybe do it a bit more preemptive, because I think your goal here with a ground pound should be to hit the up B. But you tried it in the last game, and the up B beat it, actually. I remember the up B actually beat out, like it just won out against a ground pound. So I don't know if I like this strategy. Because Bayonetta's Witch Twist is like consistently winning against it, unless your goal here was to ledge trump. But if your goal is to ledge trump, I think this takes so long that it's easily, like it's reactable beforehand. Funny enough, I think if you just like short hop off or run off and then ground pound and grab ledge, it's unreactable. Or almost unreactable. So there's a bit more schmicks up here. But the ground pound's nice because it can option select hitting the opponent's recovery or ledge trumping them. Especially if they don't know how to play around it. Because it is a unique option. But I think here against Bayonetta, because Bayonetta's upbeat, to my knowledge, wins out. Maybe there's some niche moments where it doesn't, but because it wins out against a ground pound, I don't know if I suggest this strategy too much. When I was playing Yoshi, I think I was doing this ground pound too much. It does feel kind of sick to do, though, so I don't blame you. But I don't know if you should go for it against Bayonetta. Maybe you could try counterplaying the side B with the ground pound. Then maybe not the up B. But you almost get the hit here. Oh, he actually crouches for a second. It's almost like he read it. I don't think it made a difference. I don't think. But almost gets a punish on that, but not quite. Ooh, I think he did he mess up a B reverse? You might have gotten hit for it though, so it's actually good. You kind of try going for the B reverse again here, but it doesn't quite work out. Oh, that should be an F smash. Yeah, that's free. We definitely take those. Bizarre option from Nanwar, but maybe a misinput. Good shield, but he reads you letting go out of shield. Sometimes skill and smash is just holding shield longer than you think you have to. But you definitely want to mix up how long you hold shield. Sometimes you want to hold shield for a long time. Sometimes you don't want to hold it for a long time because obviously there's mix-ups. Getting comboed. You should be okay as long as your SDI is not bad. Alright, that's fair. I'm not mad at you double jumping that one just because you're trying to survive. There's a downer again. It works out. Ooh, be careful. That landing up air. I don't know. I guess it would have caught him like running off the platform. But I think you would have wanted to drift it back if you were playing around that. Because you almost get hit by this back air. If you're trying to beat someone running off the platform, you should basically end your attack on the side of the platform so that you don't get hit if they decide to drop through a platform instead. Try naring it, doesn't work, but you end up being okay. Ooh, cross the backer. Honestly, I should have done that more when I was playing Yoshi. Decent B reverse. Ooh. Able to get Witch Twist out of it, though. Witch Twist seems like a good out of egg option. Fair enough. Oh, I think you maybe could have done a landing up air and then comboed off of that. But I don't, I could be wrong. I think you could have, though. Ooh, I don't know about that nair. That nair was a little funky. Uh-oh. Be a little careful. You're going for the egg lays a lot now. And they're a good option. And I like that you did it without, because you were B-reversing it at them a lot, but so it was a nice mix up for you to just land and do one. But one, I think you want to do it a little bit spaced a little further back. Well, I don't know. He kind of jumped over it, so it was a bit weird. But it is a bit committal, so don't get too carried away with the egg lays. Sometimes you just want to move around or space hitboxes. I'm not too mad at it. Oh, you really like the down air as a landing option. Are you going to do it again? You are, and it gets beat out. Are you going to do it again? Oh, I understand going for the egg lay there. Oh, I didn't even realize you had your double jump again. That's good that you saved it that long. And now you're, oh, whoa, that was committal. Just, in this situation like this, especially if you're at 190, just get out of there. There's no reason to fight. I was like, oh, thank God, you're finally safe. And then you go for a reversal, and that, of course, gets hit too. Your situation would have been 10 times better if you just didn't go for that. And there's a downer again. Don't downer again. Okay, you know what? I'm not... Ooh, that was a funky punish. Number's hitting you a lot, but he's not killing you. So I will say down air is an okay disadvantage, but this is just my opinion. I know I'm not a Yoshi expert. You probably know more about Yoshi than I do. But in my opinion, from my brief period of playing Yoshi, I think down air should be the mix-up, not the norm, if that makes sense. Or if you do use down air, your goal is to mix up the drift on it. Like, drift away most of the time low-key with down air, but then drift in when they start playing around you, drifting away. And that's in neutral, too, to be honest. But especially in disadvantage. Like, the whole thing with down air is you can mix up your drift afterwards. Fast fall or not fast fall. Like, there's mix-ups, but you're kind of just down airing and getting hit. But if you are getting hit for down air over and over, I literally went back. You got hit by doing the down air, then I went back 5 seconds, and you did it was the same thing. But also, low-key, you could probably just... First of all, you could do more nair dodges. Like, nair dodge is an option too, and you could like landing nair dodge to a platform. What I like to do with Yoshi, with any character that's not Diddy, funny enough, because Diddy doesn't have the air drift to do a very clean C shape. He could kind of do it actually. I do it sometimes, but it's better with other characters. Like when I play my secondary Lucina, I do it quite a bit. But if you like do a falling nair dodge, fast fall or no fast fall, but you do kind of a C shape, like you go in a curve and then you curve back, the option's low-key goated in disadvantage. I see like top players do that with good drift characters all the time. And even with Diddy, I do it sometimes. It's just Diddy doesn't get as much of a good angle out of it because his airspeed's dog shit. But Yoshi's airspeed is not dog shit. So you can do some crazy nair dodge. You might even be able to do an S shape, to be honest with you. So doing a C-shaped nair dodge is an option. And since he is swinging at you at a specific timing each time, the air dodge would phase through his attacks. He's being a little reactive though, so be careful. But you can just nair dodge through it. Especially with these platforms, you can nair dodge it to a platform. Or you can just drift to ledge. You could even drift and then ground pound a ledge. Which maybe you try doing at the end here. Maybe you're trying to go to ledge here, which is understandable. You just messed it up. Alright, just land, 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 land. Ooh, I would be fighting a lot less if you're at this percent. Should she have a kill throw here? Probably not, right? Okay, you're chilling. That was a little closer than I thought. Alright, I see. Well, thankfully I already VOD reviewed that before, so you'll come out of this VOD review already knowing not to do that. I'm not too mad at it. I like the overshoot attempt. I think the only comment I have is when I see top Yoshis play, they'll occasionally dash attack in a situation like this, but I think his forward air is also used as an overshoot tool and it has a bit more success to it. But low-key, a forward air might have lost here as well, but it hits a little bit further, a little bit faster than dash attack. Dash attack goes surprisingly less far in this game. But you're able to double jump out of the side B, nice. I understand go for that back air. I will say, so I've been noticing this entire time that Nanwar is playing pretty passive in these situations. Like if you're in a situation where you're landing in front of him, or something like that, or you're off stage, he plays it passively and he reacts. Against players like that, you just land and do nothing. Do not fish for reversals if your opponent's not doing things that will give you reversals, which Nanwar's not so far. At least not in these horizontal advantage situations. I think, so what'll happen is if someone is aggressive, like if they're like, oh, you're falling here, I'm going to go in and chase you and try to hit you. That's when those drift and back airs work. But if they're like, oh, I'm going to hold stage and just cover your landing or maintain stage control if you don't give me something to punish. Against players like that, which Nanwar looks like he falls under, you just want to land and then decide your next option from there. There's no reason to go for a reversal, at least not this kind of reversal in this situation. But thankfully you're okay, you air dodge in. Air dodge to a platform might have been low-key a little bit more goated, but this works too. Ooh. Again, I think you're overusing... Egglay is a good option. Hell, it's good that you're using it. But I think you're overusing it a little bit, especially against a character that has a few options that beats it a bit more. Like, against a sword character, funny enough, you want to be egglaying more than against Bayonetta. But even then, I would argue you're probably overusing it. Please don't die here. Okay, you double jump out. Don't... Oh my god, you could have died there. Oh, thank god you didn't die there. Oh. What? Why the f... Is she invincible? There's no way. Oh. Oh, she actually is invincible. Oh. That's stupid. Bad game design moment. Alright, at least you get the jab afterwards. Whoa! I'm not too mad at it. I don't know if that's how you want to edgeguard Bayonetta, though. Low-key, there's other characters, I get forwarders like that all the time. Against better players, it's a little bit harder, but I've surprisingly hit a few good players by just a run-off forward air. But sometimes you can also just run off, if the double jump back on to gain information, and then try to forward air. Like, whatever they do there, that's your forward air angle the next interaction. That's something you can do. But sometimes someone will just get hit by the run-off forward air. Ooh, I'm actually not too mad at it. That was almost a good counterplay, just kind of was unfortunate. You should be fine. Don't down air. Oh, at least you drifted back and don't get up smashed. He was hard reading that shit. Be a little careful approaching Bayo. I'm a little surprised. Oh, it's because you hit kind of high on the shield. Because I'm about to say, up air should be -3 for Yoshi. So I don't think you should get Witch Twist for it. But it's because you hit high up on shield. Gotta be landing that close to the ground for it to get the good shield safety. I will say maybe you could not. I think double jump does work sometimes, so I don't blame you, especially if you're in a situation where you're worried you're going to die. But so, I've seen a few situations where it's kind of clear that you weren't. Like Bayonetta couldn't do anything else, but you were double jumping anyway, which kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. Especially because if you just drift with her in a specific way, you can sometimes punish her end lag. Ooh, stop falling with hitboxes. It's not even just down air, just sometimes you want to fall a bit more passively. The reversals are things to look for. Low-key, I would start by landing passively, like drifting away, doing nair dodge mix-ups, drift mix-ups. I see Yoshidora do some crazy drift mix-ups where he'll like almost land on a platform but not quite, or make it look like he might not land on a platform but then barely land on it. Like imagine this space where this platform is. I think you can see my cursor. And Yoshidora will just make it look like he's going to land on the one anywhere within this area, and it's like a 50-50 almost. Or you just drift a ledge, or just drift towards a corner, but then gain information, like gather data on how your opponent tries juggling you, and then you can look for reversals based off of that. Ooh, you're being a little aggressive. Oh, I got a little lucky there with that Bayonetta back air. Okay. Understandable, but Bayonetta does have that side B that plays around that. You read your shield. I didn't know it was a crazy shielding habit from you, but you usually shield after in these close quarter situations. But of course you are, like who's not going to? I'd say it's a good grab from Nanowire more so than you doing something inherently wrong. But it might be a good idea to... I know Yoshi kind of has a 50-50 of like either attacking or shielding after whiffing something in front of the opponent or hitting someone's shield or whatever. So maybe this is your cue to mix to the other part of the 50-50. Stop down airing, please stop down airing. I'm kind of glad I watched this game because you weren't down airing like that game too. So I would have completely missed it. That was like such a core issue. I'm not mad at the attempt. Ooh. I'll be a bit more patient, honestly. Oh, don't nair out a hit stun. Low key in this situation, so when you get hit here, if you just like double jump waveland onto this platform on the left here, I see Trigger Croc do that all the time, and I think I've seen a high level Yoshi do it too. That's low key a goated option. But nairing is like the oldest trick in the book. It can work sometimes, like sometimes you can nair with someone's combos, but it's a bad habit, I'm going to be honest. You shouldn't die here as long as you're SDIing well. You're okay. Oh, you might even die. Never mind, yeah, I thought he had a resource. Or I didn't realize he had a side B left. You went for a ground pound? Interesting. I don't know if that's what you wanted to go for. Oh, it looks like you can't up smash that. I would if you're fighting Bayonetta, I'm assuming every week, or like every other week. It's probably you and Tease, or you Tease and Nanwar are fighting each other a lot. When I don't know how like the boon hierarchy works, but if you are fighting Bayonetta semi-frequently, you definitely want to study what you can do out of this. So I don't know. Maybe it's completely unpunishable. Maybe it's punishable, but you have to parry it. Maybe I think maybe spot dodge is the answer. I forget. I should actually know it for my character too, but I don't fight Bayonetta as frequently as you guys do. You guys should, whether you lab it or theory craft it or just try it out, definitely know the counterplay to stuff like this. But it looks like up smash is not set counterplay. Maybe you can full up air it, or maybe you have to parry to full up air it, or maybe you spot dodge or roll or hit it preemptively, or maybe you have to like egg and just punish what she does afterwards. I don't know. But because of this, the worst downer I've seen in my entire life, you get an up air. Oh, okay, maybe you can get an air dodge read. Oh, you're just a little too high up. A little greedy. I'm not too mad at that, actually. That would have been kind of sick if you hit that. Okay. You definitely fished your reversals too much, but it worked out there. It almost didn't work, though, so be careful. Oh. I don't know. I don't like these ground bounds. There's some characters that can work a little bit, and it can sometimes work as a rare mix-up. Is that it? No, well, yeah, I don't know. And now you're not even in ledge sharpening. Like, you put yourself in disadvantage with this. Sometimes you can really catch someone off guard, but it really isn't that good of an option. I'm actually a little surprised at that. I think you might have even been trying to punish a witch time. I will say, in this situation, funny enough, you would have delayed it longer anyway to hit it, so it would have worked. But in this situation, oh wait, ooh, I don't know if that was a reactive nair. I think you're gonna nair like that regardless. But I will say, if you just double jumped and reacted, if Bayonetta witch timed, you could have done a landing back air 1 or 2 and gotten a kill confirm off of it. But thankfully, he doesn't get the back air, so you can live another day, because I know you're not going to die to a Bayo combo here. Oh, it finally worked. And wow, I've never seen that kill horizontally before. Looks like, so that funny enough, he actually did to you what I told you to do to him earlier, because you read your runoff. Oh, I thought I saw a double jump start up there. I guess not. You shouldn't die here, right? Wow. There's no way that was good DI. You weren't even that high up. If you don't already know, the optimal DI for Bayonetta forward air is down and away. I don't know if you're DIing down and away or not. I'm pretty sure it's down and away. I mean, I live at percents, like, what percent were you? I mean, you were at pretty high percent, but I don't know. I've survived stuff like this with Diddy Kong before. And you play a character heavier than Diddy. And I think game 2 I also saw you die to a Bayonetta forward air that you shouldn't have. But what's set up into it again? That'll be my final VOD review. Oh, it was just up tilt on your landing. Make sure you're SDIing. I don't know how well your SDI is. You did die to a few combos you shouldn't have in game 2, I'm pretty sure. So I'm assuming your SDI may not be perfect, or you're just DIing the forward air horribly. But I'm not sure. But you do choose some creative options with Yoshi. I do like your Yoshi a lot. I think your main things, I think a lot of it's like lack of patience. Like I feel like yes, sometimes you do just want to jump in with aerials and shit. Weirdly, you were playing a lot more patient game 2, and this game you played a lot less patient. It was actually weird. You had like almost opposite issues. I think game 2, if I recall, you're playing a little too passive. Like you're overusing the crouch under side B strategy. You're relying on the dash back egg throw a little bit too much. In this game, I don't know if there's like a tilt difference or not, but like maybe it was like a mentality thing. But I think you were like not patient enough. Like you kept fishing for reversals anytime you were in disadvantage, and you were jumping in with aerials quite a lot and overusing egg lane, etc. I think so I'm just trying to think where to assess my advice from here. I mean, I'm going to send you notes, and I don't even know if you're going to look at this video or not when I send you said notes, because most of what I'm going to say in this video is in the notes anyway. But I might forget a thing or two, so I think you might want to play a kind of a middle ground between game 2 and game 3 in this set. When I was playing Yoshi, I got the most success off of like, I did find that sometimes I would play too passive with Yoshi, and that was my downfall. I got a bit more success when I was playing a bit more aggressive. I think a lot of it's because Yoshi's not good at doing things on reaction a lot. You still can be reactive with Yoshi, especially with like the certain landing aerial stuff. But I think you want to put aerials in front of your opponent, but you want to drift them back so you're safe on shield. I see Yoshi Dora like do a back air at the opponent, but he'll drift it back to where it's safe and spaced. Yoshi's kind of privileged in that he can drift full in on someone, and put an aerial, but then fade back and then go back so far that the aerial's spaced, even though you're going full drift in just like a millisecond before. Yoshi's drift is crazy, and you can do some crazy stuff with it. Because now that I'm thinking about it, there definitely is. Like, you're not using back air as much as other Yoshis. Like, you're using more, like, nair and forward air. Or, like, rising up airs, landing up airs, stuff like that. But I think back air is probably his best aerial for spacing. But you can sometimes nair above people to catch jumps or catch them dashing back. It's, like, weird, because you can, like, nair in a way that like it covers a jump, it then arcs behind them to cover if they dash back, so you're kind of covering your options in one, and you can short hop or full hop it. You can go for the full hop down air, and you did go for a few full hop down airs, but I see top Yoshis like they'll full hop down air. I feel like I might just come up with a list of options I see top Yoshis do in neutral that I don't see you do a lot. Maybe it's a Bayonetta thing, I don't know. But I think the options you do tend to do in neutral tend to be options that aren't always the most safe, and basically lose to people reacting a lot. Or no, they just lose it to specific things. And disadvantage is like the biggest thing. The downer habit disadvantage is a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. Especially against Bayonetta. I feel like Bayonetta is like the last character you want to be doing that against. And you haven't hit, I guess another thing, a lot of your neutral tools aren't like the biggest combo starters. So I don't actually know what your combo game is like, because you weren't hitting like your biggest combo starters to even get like the biggest damage. But we'll see. I'll give you notes with more stuff. I hope if you do watch, I hope you're okay with everything I said, and I hope that you found it helpful. And I'm really rooting for you to get as good as possible alongside everyone else in Boone. But I hope everyone watching has a wonderful day. Good night.